Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Today, I have a very special guest, Jordan Terrell. First of all, Jordan, thank you very much for being with us today.
Yeah, no problem.
For those of you who don't know Jordan, first of all, he's a family man. He's married. He has three kids. Jordan runs a very successful real estate team in Denver, Colorado. He's also coaching at Club Wealth. Jordan loves investing in real estate. I think we can say that real estate is your passion. And when he's not doing real estate, he's an amateur golf player. Jordan also joined Real a few months ago. I had the pleasure to first meet Jordan at the beginning of 2021, I think it was before the pandemic started, or yeah.
It was the beginning. It was actually the beginning of this year.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Sorry. And Jordan moved his team to Real a few months ago, and I'm really excited to have you here today, Jordan. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It's been really fun getting to know you and your team and becoming part of the family. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. I've had an interesting brokerage journey, and I can say that I'm really happy right now, and just all that we're doing in partnership with Real. And I'm here in Denver. I grew up in Oklahoma, migrated to LA, but landed in Denver with my family back in 2006, and we've been here ever since. I got licensed in real estate back in 2017, so about 4.5 years ago, and I quickly I hired an assistant before I even closed my first transaction. So I started building a team right away, and I got sucked into coaching somehow within 9 months of being a real estate agent. So somehow I was coaching agents, and I didn't even really know how to even lead my own business. And so you said that I was coaching with Club Wealth. I did that for a stint. I haven't done that in a couple of years though. So I coach in some other formats, but for the most part, I'm paying people to coach me in a lot of ways. But I run a team here in Denver, and there's 28 of us now on the team, which the team was about 12 people a year ago. So we've grown a lot in the past year, and there's a lot of things that we want to be good at. We want to be good at video and social media and all those cool things, but honestly, we're not good at any of those things. The things we're really good at is building really good team culture and have a lot of fun. And so that's what we're doing really well. And we love partnering with people at Real that are good at those other things so that we can learn to get better.
Great, thank you. And yes, we'll go back to your team and the culture a little bit later. I'm just noticing that even though you're in Denver and you're probably in a much colder climate than I am, you're wearing a t-shirt. So
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Admirable. So what attracted you to real estate to begin with? What was that thing that kind of sparked your interest?
I was in a previous career. I was working in the church world. I was a pastor at a church, and I'd spent 15 years working with people and just being in people's lives, and I was in a big organization, so I was growing a massive organization in that world. And so I loved leadership. I loved people. And I finally hit a place in my life where I was just looking for something different, and I wanted to make a maneuver. I had become an amateur investor in real estate while I was doing that. And so when I made the switch, there was really only one other thing I knew about, and that was real estate. And I knew that the people skills would transfer well. And I knew the leadership skills would transfer well if I wanted to build a team. And so I jumped into real estate and instantly started building a team. And so that was why I chose real estate. Is that really the only other thing I thought I could do well, and because there's the only thing I knew about outside of my previous career.
As you were talking, I was thinking about maybe an unusual angle here, which is whether there's any kind of connection between real estate and religion at all. Because, when you talk about religion probably puts a lot of emphasis and importance on family, home, in general. And I think that it's probably natural for somebody who was attracted to this world to be attracted to real estate as well, because maybe some of the values that are behind each of those topics are the same.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think what attracted me to work in a religious environment wasn't because I grew up my whole life thinking, man, someday I want to work at a church. At some point, somebody was really impactful in my life. And so it naturally, as a result of that, I wanted to help someone else. And next thing you know, I was pretty good at helping other people and in giving more than getting. And next thing you know, I'm doing that professionally. And so the transferable opportunity there in real estate is that you can certainly build a real estate business focused on getting, but you can build a really good business if you focused on giving. And so I think there is something unique there in that. In both, people ask me all the time, is anything changed from what you used to do? Like, what's the biggest difference? And I'm like, honestly, it's just a for-profit version of the same thing I was doing. I'm hanging out with families. I'm in people's homes. I'm hearing about real things. I'm not judging anybody about anything. I'm just hearing where they're at and seeing how I can contribute and being part of their story and their life. And so honestly, my job hasn't changed much. It's just for profit, and before it was nonprofit, and I get paid a little more, so that's nice. But no, I work similar hours. I'm just able to do more for my family now. Is about the biggest difference.
Is that also the reason why you started your own team pretty early in your real estate career? Is that helping people which drove you to start a team?
Yeah, part of the opportunity I had before, I worked in an organization where there was about 15 staff, and when I left there was about 250 staff. And so when you work at an organization with that many people and you're one of the leaders in it, you learn what you're really good at and what you're not good at. And so you end up in a lane and you focus on your lane individually. So when I jumped into real estate and it was just me, I had to wear a lot of hats. And I was already crystal clear on what I was good at and what I wasn't. So it made no sense to me to be that inefficient. So I quickly started hiring people to do things that I wasn't good at. I'm really focused as a leader on, I think life is better when we do things that we're really good at. We come home energized and full of life to our families. When we spend our whole days doing things that we're not good at, we come home deflated and frustrated and tired and drained. And so I'm always looking at what is draining me right now. And is there someone out there that would get fulfilled by this? Because if I can find them and put them in that seat, then we both win, because they're going to get a lot of life out of this. I'm going to not have to do that. I'm going to get a lot of life out of the things I'm really good at. And then the company will win, because we're all running together. So anytime I find myself frustrated, I ask myself, is this something that someone else should be doing because I'm not good at it and they are? So when I launched into real estate, I was doing a lot of things and I was like, man, there's at least 10 of the 13 hats I'm wearing that I shouldn't be wearing. And how do I quickly eliminate those?
Got it. So you've been a pastor, you were a real estate agent, you're running a team, you have a massive network, and you probably have seen a lot of people in different situations and a lot of agents in different situations. Is there anything that you think makes an agent successful, or what makes an agent great in your eyes?
Yeah, it's funny because we've hired some people and I thought, man, they don't have this skill set. They don't have this skill set. There's no way they'll be successful. And then they are. So I've been proven wrong. And then I've been proven wrong both ways. I thought someone was going to do really well and then they didn't. And then I thought people weren't going to do well and then they did. And so I guess I'm getting pretty clear on, I would narrow it down to a few things. One, someone to be successful in real estate, they have to have an incredible amount of flexibility to not, because you can't plan to succeed. I mean, you can't plan your day and go, I want my day to look exactly like this, and then this is how it's going to work out. You have to kind of roll with the day and kind of flow with it, because people that you haven't met yet aren't going to flow with your plan. The other thing is you have to have a sense of urgency. And then ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to be willing to be a leader. I think leadership is really important in real estate, because if you're not willing to be a leader of yourself, but also a leader of your client, then you're gonna end up spinning your wheels, because you're gonna be working with clients that are telling you what to do versus you leading them towards the goals that they've already communicated to you. And so I think it's a combination of leadership, flexibility, and a sense of urgency, because the people that are winning in this business are jumping when they see an opportunity. And that's the sense of urgency that I'm talking about.
Got it. It reminds me of a conversation I had yesterday with a very successful team leader. He runs a team of about 100 agents. And he told me that he's always trying to attract agents that have a chip on their shoulder. And not necessarily agent, even newly licensed agent, even people that are just in the process of getting licensed. He's looking for those individuals who have something to prove. People that, you know, were kind of on the sidelines, that weren't really successful in their past, and he could see that there's this drive of proving that they're different from what people think they are. And I think that you were saying some of those things in a different way as well.
Oh, yeah, having that. You know, we have some different team members right now that are newer to real estate. Just thinking about a few of them, but one of them is having a baby soon, and he jumped into this career with this idea that I need to provide, and I have to make this work. And so, and he is, and so you're right. There's the people need to have a really strong sense of why, like why are they here and what are they trying to get done. When I got into real estate, I had about 3 months of runway financially, and so I went and took my real estate course, and everyone was saying that it took about 3 months to do it, and I said, well, what's the fastest that you've ever heard someone getting their real estate license? And someone told me like 25 days. I'm like, perfect. That I got that's one of my 3 months. So I went and got my license in 3 or 4 weeks, and I was like, all right, I got 2 more months to figure this out. And it was a bumpy road, but I was really committed. I mean, I had a wife, 3 kids, and a mortgage and some rental properties. I had a lot of weight that I was carrying, and I had to figure it out quick. And so failure was not an option. I had to go get it done. And I think people with that chip on their shoulder are going to win.
Yeah. It's funny. I feel like this story is me sometimes at Real. So I had no other option than making it happen. I think that this is what carried us through some difficult times as well. When you talk to your team members, either one-on-one or in team meetings, what's the most common advice you give them?
That's a great question. You know, I like to dig into people's lives and ask questions, big questions about what's going on in their life. What do they want? What kind of life do they want to build? I like to reverse engineer. I like to ask questions of, hey, where do you want to be in 5 years? And let's build that. Sometimes even if it means that I'm going to help them not be on my team anymore, because that's what they want.
Yeah.
And so I like to find out what are they dreaming about, and how do we partner together to get them there. And so once I can have that kind of relationship with somebody, now we're really clear on ways that I can help them, and ways that they can leverage what I've built to help them get where they want to get. And so common advices that I give, I think it's so particular to each unique person's story and what they have going on in their life. When someone's not performing, it's usually not, I usually don't ask them why aren't they not performing. I'm usually asking what's going on in your life, what's really going on behind all that. And because no one wants to, like, it's like going on a football field or a basketball court and going, why didn't you make that free throw? You know, it's like, well, it's not like they didn't want to. They wanted to make it, but maybe there was something going on behind the scenes that they didn't get a chance to practice enough to get better at that skill. And so everyone wants to win. There's just things in the way. And so I try to figure out what's in the way of you getting what you want. Is it ego? Is it pride? Is it fear? Is it yeah, there's just so many things that could be in the way.
Got it. Let's switch to a different topic. So you have a very good perspective of the industry because you're in the market, you're running a team, you're an investor as well. You see the trends. Where do you see the industry going right now? I mean, there seems to be so many forces trying to take the industry in so many different directions. If you had to predict how it will look like in 5 years or 10 years, or just, in generally think where the industry is going, what would be your thoughts?
Yeah, I think in the next, it's really hard to think 10 years from now. But 5 years from now is a little more, because so much has happened in the last 10 years.
Even 2 years.
Yeah, even 2 years. But I think, there's a lot of things competing, and there's a lot of big players. You got Zillow, who just shut down their offers program, but it's not like, to them, they're running at such a massive scale that's like shutting down one small little division, and now they're going to reallocate those resources and go down a different path and try something different. Yeah. And so they're going to keep coming until they find the right flow of how they can be the most profitable company they can be. And all of those things that they're going to try are going to compete with us on the local level. And so I think agents have to be more creative on how they add value more now than ever. What can we do on the local level, on the ground floor, on the neighborhood level, on the local business level? What can we do that these big companies cannot do? What is the human connection element thing that we can do? And so I think we're just gonna have to get more creative. We're gonna have to become more helpful. We're gonna have to become better relationally, more connected to our communities. We can't sell houses by saying, hey, I'll set you up on a search. It's like, no, we have to sell houses because we're involved in people's lives, and we're connected into the neighborhood, into the businesses. Like, we're looking at, as a company, as a team, we're looking at starting our own nonprofit and really digging really deep into our community, in the local nonprofits and the local businesses, and trying to figure out how do we bridge the gap between all these different really amazing companies and amazing people, because they're also feeling pressure. They're feeling pressure from the big companies and the big technology, and they're trying to run really amazing small businesses and restaurants too. Yeah. So I think we just have to think differently, not feel threatened, but just go a different path, and see this as an opportunity to get better.
And always remember that we're serving humans, and we need to focus on relationships. I think this is what you were saying.
Yeah.
Between the lines. Very often I'm talking to young entrepreneurs, people that are either starting in the real estate space or in the tech space. And I think that there's a perception when people are looking at successful team leaders like yourself, or people that are running companies like myself, who think that, when you're at that position, you don't have any problems, everything is running smoothly. And I try to tell all of those young entrepreneurs that I'm also not sleeping at night. Sometimes it's because of growth is so energizing, so I find it difficult to sleep. But sometimes it's because things are on my mind. I mean, we have responsibility towards people, we have employees, we have plans that we need or goals that we need to achieve. So as an entrepreneur, it never ends. You always worry about something. And what is this thing that keeps you up at night these days?
Yeah, it's funny you ask. I remember three and a half years ago, I'm a year into my business, and I have a coach that I hired, and she was telling me about where she's at as a business, and my mind would blow. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around the things that she was doing and operating, and I was just so overwhelmed with the little things that I was trying to figure out. And fast forward all these years, and the company that I have the opportunity to be a part of and lead is actually bigger than that, way bigger than what she was doing. And what's funny is I still have moments every day where I'm like, my mind's overwhelmed. I don't know how we're going to get to here and how we're going to accomplish that. And sleepless nights, waking up like, with thoughts in the middle of the night. And then at the same time, I have kids climbing in my bed because they couldn't sleep because they had a nightmare. And I'm still a dad, and I'm still a husband, and so navigating all these things. But yeah, I think there is never a moment where it stops. And right now, the things that I'm thinking about is creating a nonprofit to make a bigger impact in our city, because selling lots of houses is cool. Changing people's lives is cooler. I'm rolling out health benefits to all my employees. I'm building an office building for our staff to operate out of, our operational staff. I'm trying to figure out how to help my agents be more productive and more efficient and take more vacations. Like, these are the things that I'm thinking about. So it's funny because 3 years ago, I was just trying to figure out how to sell a house.
Yeah. Yeah, it never stops. I agree. But those are good problems to have. So
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you share with us a little bit of what led you to the decision to join Real?
Absolutely. Yeah, Real came to me at a very unique time. I had spent my first 3 years, two and a half years at a brokerage in town, a great brokerage. They were like the local experts in so many ways, a lot of investment knowledge. They took on a big institutional account and really became known for something that was really different than what I was doing. And so I kind of needed to separate, not because I didn't agree with it, but because it was kind of pulling me in a direction I didn't want to go. So I ended up going to a big national brand, and that's growing rapidly right now. Very different than Real, and like the exact opposite of Real, and big brick and mortar, and really shiny in so many ways. And we went there, and we were there for a year, and it didn't work out. It just wasn't a good fit. Wasn't good alignment in culture, wasn't good alignment in who we were and what we needed. And so I felt really frustrated by that. And so at this point, I was now going to leave my brokerage for the second time in 12 months or 14 months. And so I knew that with my team, I couldn't just keep leading them to the next thing. Like eventually they're going to lose trust in my leadership there. And so I said, I don't really know who to trust. So we're just going to start our own brokerage. I can at least control that.
Yeah.
And at the ninth hour, right when we were ready to pull the trigger and launching everything, a friend of mine said, "Hey, I think you should check out this company called Real." I was skeptical, but he said, "Why don't we fly to New York and meet them all?" And I'm like, "I like New York. That sounds fun. Let's go to New York City." So we got to hang out, and skeptical at this point because I was just unsure that anybody could do something better and safer than I could for myself. And so it was after getting to meet you, Tamir, and a bunch of others that I was like, wow, there is some synergy from a culture standpoint. And ultimately, when I really started looking at the numbers and when I started, I mean, the culture was there. That was instantaneous. I felt part of the family and it felt right. Then I had to look at the numbers. And when I really looked at the numbers, I just couldn't provide the opportunity for my team and my staff and my agents as a brokerage owner that I could as a partner of Real.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, because either way I was going to win, it wasn't about me figuring out how do I win. It was about how do I take the people that have trusted to follow me and create the best opportunity for them. And that was Real. And so we joined at the end of May, beginning of June. We have thoroughly loved it, enjoyed it, and we have been one of a few, but really loved the opportunity to kind of really make a big splash in Denver. And a lot of people are like, "What's Real? Who's Real? What's that?"
Yeah.
And that why'd you leave the big brokerage that you were at? And a lot of questions of like, you know, you guys are a pretty successful team. Why'd you choose this company that no one's ever heard of in Denver? And now people are starting to recognize it. It's growing, and it's just been fun. We love it.
Great. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
So we're in December. It's a time where you kind of reflect on the year and plan ahead. What would you wish to Jordan and to your team for 2022?
Oh man. Well, I wish I want us to grow. I want us to continue growing, but I want us to do it in a really healthy and fun way. Growth should be fun and exciting, and not painful. And so wherever that line is, because I know we're going to grow because I attract like-minded people, and we like to go and get things done. But I want to do that while having fun and taking time off and building good families and all that kind of stuff. And so 2022 I wish it to be a great year of growth and fun.
And keeping healthy, I guess.
Yeah.
In this crazy days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Jordan, we're scheduled to meet in person again in 10 days, and I'm really looking forward to it. But thank you very much for your time today. I really enjoyed the conversation and looking forward to it.
Thank you, Tamir. I appreciate you.